From the campus lights to the game day fight, Texas dust on the boots, packed out stands in the sun. Every school has a story, every season has one. Turn it up, lean in close, hear that crowd start to roll. The Cory Hogue Sports Show, the Cory Hogue Sports Show. Big stories and real conversations, bring the truth, let it roll. The Cory Hogue Sports Show, the Cory Hogue Sports Show. For the schools beyond the spotlight, where the heart of the game still shows.
This is the Cory Hogue Sports Show, Episode 8, July 27th. Thank you so much for watching. And you know what? Let's just start and keep it honest. This is one of those hard days. This is one of those days that's easy to quit. For me, it's what Jay Glazer refers to as gray days. Look, the fatigue is setting up. It's setting in. It is building. It stacks. The PTSD has been just the last couple weeks. Most nights, not every single night, but it does build. It's funny. You ever want to know how I'm doing? Just look at the dog. Look at my dog. Look at Sunshine. Sunshine the fourth. Look at my service dog. She will tell you how I am doing. She will. And and I know this because last week when I was in my counseling appointment, counselor mentioned that. He was like, when you're not doing well, she's on like alert, on guard. But when you're doing fine, she laid out and sleeping in there. And, there's been those days where she's been relaxed. But today is not one of those days. I get up to go somewhere. I get up to move, and that girl's right there. And let me tell you, it's a helpful thing. It's helpful to have because these are the days you need that. The energy's not there. The best effort is definitely not in the same area as it is on some other days. But that's why we give our best effort. That's why we keep it honest. Not a big show today. We got some things to talk about. It's not going to be a real long show. Really want to say thank you to everyone who tuned in and listened and watched to the last Friday's episode with Tremaine Jackson, Prairie View A&M head coach. I thought that was an outstanding episode, a great interview. He is tremendous. Don't forget to check out the Substack. There will be some things published here over the next few days, and something later on today after the show. There will be some stories coming, just some things coming as we get through the summer here. CoryHogueSports.substack.com. If you're not a subscriber, I highly recommend it. And if you really feel the need to become a paid subscriber, I really appreciate it. You get every story early. You'll get every story before it goes free. That's the main part right there. You're becoming a subscriber. But more importantly, you allow me to kind of go around and get some of the coverage, go to some of these media days and some of these things. It costs a little money to go to, and it supports that. So anything you are willing to do, it helps. If you know someone looking to place ads somewhere, let them know. It's not a strength of mine to go looking for it, but, sometimes it falls in your lap. Sometimes it don't. Don't forget also, March to the Pod is back. Thursday nights, and marchtothepod.substack.com. Check it out. Good stuff coming there about Sam Houston if you've got interest in the Bearcats or Conference USA at all. And just, again, a big thank you to anyone watching on Facebook, YouTube, or Substack. We're going to get through. These are the days that at the end you could go down that dark path. You could give in to the gray. Could easily say, no show today, and sit down or lay down and do absolutely nothing. It's not how you sustain success. And so you got to fight these days. And these are the ones that if you can keep it slightly unpleasant, it's a win. It's a big win. That's where I sit. Maybe you're there, maybe you're not. I hope you're not, but if you are, you're not alone. All right, so just keep up that fight, keep fighting along. We have the next in our conference football predictions. We're to the FCS conferences now. The 2026 Southland Conference football predictions, opposed to what the conference that I'm not afraid to put out a poll, to put out my predictions. They didn't do a preseason poll. I get it. Those are kind of pointless, but they do have a purpose, right? Like they can help some things. I mean, I don't know if you care so much about the conference predictions from their media polls, or if you care about like individuals. Media, a lot of these media polls, sometimes they're biased based on who they cover. They're going to put them in a different place, right? So it's hard to get a real like look at it. I don't know how accurate this one's going to be honest with you. This is a hard one to really kind of predict. There does feel to be 3 tiers in the Southland Conference this year. So let's start with number 10. Got Northwestern State number 10. Listen, this has been a tough. They were 1-11 last year. They were better, right? Playing McCorkle, they were better last year, and he's a heck of a coach, and he's going to get this built. This is a long haul process, not a short haul process for McCorkle and the Demons in Northwestern State at Natchitoches. 1-11 last year. They've got more experience on offense. A lot of transfers brought in. They should see an improved roster. They're still, though, in that rebuilding mode. That program, you guys got to remember, it was decimated. If I had to put a program it's worse than what Stephen F. Austin was when Colby Carthel took over, and that program was in really bad shape. This was even worse. So it's going to take a little more time. But I think that McCorkle's the right guy, and I think he's doing an outstanding job, and I expect him to be better this year. Does that mean more wins? That depends on the defense. If they can avoid some defensive breakdowns that let some games slip away last year, certainly. So that's the question for the Demons. Can they make enough progress defensively to remain competitive for 4 quarters and maybe slip out a couple more wins this year? Number 9, Houston Christian. This is one of those tough places when you don't have the facilities, you don't have the money. Head coach Jason Bachtel is doing as bang-up job as he can. He's got a good staff, and they are returning some experience, and they could be a lot more competitive this year, especially on offense. They still need some guys that are explosive, some of those difference makers at skill positions. They should have some opportunities this year, in my opinion, to turn some of those losses last year into some wins. They should have some opportunities. The question is, can they generate enough explosive plays to turn those close games into victories? Number 8, East Texas A&M. They showed some encouraging offensive improvement under Clint Dalzell in his 3rd season. We have flipped with ET. We have flipped with the Lions. When Dalzell first took over, the offense was that offensive line was putrid. Couldn't stop a soul. Now, the offense isn't bad, but the defense is pretty bad. So now they're replacing a lot of significant contributors. They struggled to slow down Southland opponents last year consistently. Got them into some losses look, they could have beaten Lamar last year at home. They had the opportunities. The question for East Texas A&M is that they added enough defensive talent to keep its offense from having to play from behind and feel like it has to score on every possession. That's the question for the Lions. Number 7, Nicholls. Little surprised to see the Colonels here. A little surprised to put the Colonels here. The problem at Nicholls, they're defensive stalwart. But they really struggle on offense. Now, they did gain some momentum towards the end of last season, and they returned some experience. They could remain dangerous. An experienced offensive line gives them a solid foundation. They will have a rebuilt defense this year. So whether the Colonels can climb into the top half of the standings, it's going to depend upon that rebuilt defense. Can they do that quick enough to take advantage of the experienced offense, or will the defense be the problem in Thibodaux? Number 6, McNeese. They made progress during Matt Viator's return first season back in Lake Charles. They enter this season with enough experience to become a factor in the championship race. That offense has got to be more consistent and avoid those critical turnovers that prevented the Cowboys from beating some of the league's best teams last year. The question coming in for McNeese and Lake Charles under Viator's second season is, are they really ready to return to the top of the conference? I don't think funding is an issue. It may not be quite time. Viator may need another season or two. Expect to see them probably a little bit better. Number 5, University of Incarnate Word. It's an important season for the Cardinals after Clint Killow overhauled much of the roster. Again, this is a common theme for UIW and Killow and just in general, even before Killow got there. Just an overhaul of the roster, overhaul of some of the coaching staff. Last year was very disappointing. Did not work the way they wanted to. They're going to have talent. They're going to have upside. Will that lack of continuity, though, makes them hard to predict. Makes them a really tough team to predict in this conference. So the question for UIW that I have is, can you rebuild that offensive line enough to to compete against some of the best defensive fronts you're going to see in the Southland? Because this conference is much improved, greatly improved over where it was 5-6 years ago. Number 4, UT Rio Grande Valley. There's going to be some Vaquero fans that will not be happy being 4th. They believe they should be higher. And you know what? I'm not going to say you're wrong, but they're going to have to show it to me. Look, last year was outstanding for UTRGV. They exceeded in nearly every reasonable expectation during their inaugural season. They won 9 games. They established themselves as a contender for the Southland. They return a lot of defensive talent and experience, especially on the offensive line. They got to replace Eddie Lee Marburger, the quarterback. And also, prove last season's success was the beginning of something sustainable, not a flash in the pan. And that's the hardest thing to do. We talk about it, right? Consistently winning is the hardest thing to do. I have the Vaqueros 4th simply because they need to show that last season's momentum was not a fluke. They know how to sustain success and keep winning. That's the question. Number 3, and these top 3 are so hard. Like, this is a tier, and UTRGV is on the cusp of this tier and could join. And honestly, so is UIW, McNeese, and even Nicholls. It is such a hard conference. These top 3 are so hard. They're all 3, in my opinion. The top 3 in this conference are playoff teams this year. I really feel the Southland should be a 3-bid team. I think they have that much talent. And that's why I have Lamar at number 3. And, they opened the season against Abilene Christian. We're going to find out real quick. That's a real big resume bullet point for both teams with their FCS playoff push. Look, the Cardinals have improved in each season since Pete Rossomando took over. And it's been a steady, patient rebuilding process with a plan, success that has shown that they can sustain year after year after year. And last year, he showed they're a playoff team. The Cardinals showed they're a playoff team. And they returned the foundation of what could be one of the best defenses in the conference. Now, the offense, Lamar, has to be improved. They got to get better quarterback. That's been really what has what has caused them some stumbles in the past few years, and replace some key contributors if they're going to make another jump. The question I have is, Lamar has improved every single season. How much will they improve this season? Do they improve enough this year to jump into the top 2? That's the question I have. Number 2, this is not the team that most people have. Number 2, I have Stephen F. Austin. Lumberjack fans, I get it. You're the defending, reigning Southland Conference champion. You made it all the way to the FCS quarterfinals, and you are returning some talent. Bugs Mortimer is back, a really experienced offensive line. You have a strong foundation. But there was a departure in the coaching staff that that's what keeps me from putting the Lumberjacks up at number 1. Offensive coordinator Chris Ross is now at Tarleton. And by the way, when Colby Carthel brought him in from the high school ranks, that was a tremendous hire. Totally changed everything. Well, now that changing of everything is over at Tarleton. He did promote Jared May. And Jared May's that offensive coordinator in waiting for SFA. He knows Colby. He's been around Colby Carthel since really 2007. They were together at West Texas A&M. He was there. He was quarterbacks, wide receivers coach for West Texas from 2010 to 12. He went to Texas A&M Commerce, now East Texas A&M with Carthel, was a part of those national championship teams as co-offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach. He was quarterbacks coach and passing game coordinator at SFA. He's really built his way up. And now after Ross, I think Carthel picked the best person for them. He is the offensive coordinator. But that still changes some things. How much is the question? What is that offense going to look like with the returners and the experience that they have without, though, Chris Ross calling the plays? That's the question. I still think they're a playoff team. I still think they could defend their championship. But I still have them at number 2 because number 1, I have Southeastern Louisiana. Listen, head coach Frank Silfo, he knows how to win. They were one conference loss away from winning the Southland title last season, and they return enough experience to finish that job in 2026. They have an offensive line, and they bring back some production at the skill positions. They've got the league's best combination of continuity, balance, and championship potential, and that right there puts them number 1. That is why SLU is number 1. The Lions have already proven they can contend with the best teams. The challenge is turning a strong regular season into a conference championship and a deep postseason run. My question for Southeastern Louisiana is, can they take that next step forward to conference champions and a deep playoff run under Silfo? Time will tell. So there you have it. That is my 2026 Southland Conference football predictions. Some interesting news I saw this morning. Trinity Valley Community College sports information officer, director, whatever you want to call him, Benny Rogers, announced he is retiring. He joined TVCC in 2009 as their assistant public information officer, was named sports information officer in 2012. He serves as chairman of the Cardinal Hall of Fame Selection Committee. He's been doing play-by-play coverage on the Cardinal Sports Network webcast, and guess what? He's still going to. So we don't get rid of Benny all the way, thankfully. That's good. Benny has one of the best in the Southwestern Junior College Football Conference has some incredible sports information guys. Mike Montfort is another one that comes to mind, and Benny is right there. Hall of Famer in every shape, way, and form. Before he joined Trinity Valley, he spent 27 years at the Athens Daily Review as the sports editor for 25 of those. So he's been around Trinity Valley. He could tell you more about the Cardinals than anyone else. He's received numerous awards, and he's a lifelong resident of Malakoff. 1977, he graduated from Malakoff High School. Benny, I'm not trying to make you feel old, but that's the year I was born, my man. He attended Trinity Valley after he graduated, and he was given a Distinguished Alumni Award at the Trinity Valley Homecoming in 2006. He will be missed, but I'm also happy that we get to hear him still on Saturdays. So congratulations to Benny Rogers on an outstanding career. Tour de France finished up yesterday. What a way it finished. Tade, again, the other day, I told you Saturday in that stage, he might try to go help Isaac Del Toro get to third, and he did. He went and carried that man so they could get 2 podium spots. Tade is just a consummate professional. He is the greatest bicycle racer that I have ever seen. And on a great team, of course, it takes a full team around you, but that team was decimated this year, and Tade still kept winning. And even yesterday, right? It was a ceremonial ride for him. All he had to do was finish, and he's out front on the mountains in the Cat 4 climbs. And by the way, let me give it up to the Tour de France. That last stage is fun. Again, it's not just processional. It is a lot of fun. And so I thought this was a great tour. Looking forward to next year's Tour de France. I don't know if you saw the news this morning. You may have. ESPN had it this morning, got some alerts. The wife of Kansas City Chiefs offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy was shot last night in their family home in Virginia by their son. His wife, Mia Bieniemy, 57 years old. She is in stable condition, thankfully. She took multiple gunshot wounds, and they say, I think it was to the torso and the arm, if I remember correctly. Their son was arrested. Elijah Zion Bieniemy, he's 27 years old, arrested and charged with malicious wounding. Other charges. He's got a lie. She was shot in the chest and arm. Elijah is being held without bond at a detention center in Loudoun County, according to the police. Eric Bieniemy, of course, was not in attendance at Monday's practice. He was with the team yesterday. The Chiefs, in a statement, said they are aware of the incident involving Eric Bieniemy's family. Listen, this is a horrendous story on many levels, and we have zero idea what is going on behind the scenes. We will find out as news comes out. If we find out, I don't even know that we really should care about it. Right now, the thing is, my thought about this is Bieniemy seems like I don't know him. But he kind of reminds me of Andy Reid in a way, really kind of that low-key family guy. But then Andy Reid's son has also had some legal issues as well. It's a hard life. When you're an NFL coach, it's a hard life. I don't know the details. We will probably find them out. But more importantly, right now, I think we all just need to stop and pause and realize we don't know what other people are going through. We just don't. And I don't know what was happening here. It's a horrendous, a tragic situation. I just hope that all can heal and recover. And listen, that's your son. He's in jail. Remember the other day we were talking about MSU football and how Haven Watson was convicted of sexual offenses. It was horrendous. And I told you, you don't excuse it at all. But if it was your kid, you're not, how do you handle that? Well, this is one of those situations. How does Eric Bieniemy handle the fact that his kid shot his wife? Like, this is such a hard dynamic. I can't imagine what that would be like. I don't want to imagine what that would be like, because you love your kid. You love your wife. Where it is, what happened, I don't know. Was it estranged? Again, I don't know anything about it. We may find that out over time. But those things are close to you and they matter, and that is a very, very, very hard thing to deal with. It's all I have for this week, or today. Scheduled to be back Wednesday, 1 o'clock with another live show. Keep your eyes on CoryHogueSports.substack.com. There will be some posts coming up pretty soon. Also, marchtothepod.substack.com. They've got some new assistant women's basketball coaches And it's kind of a cool thing. There's kind of really a really neat deal in the fact that they have these. So stay tuned there and find out what's coming up there. And I will see you back on Wednesday. God willing, I will be back on Wednesday. Thank you so much for watching or listening wherever you get this. Make sure you follow Cory Hogue Sports on YouTube. Subscribe, like, follow, Facebook, Instagram, all of it. I thank you all. I appreciate you all. Until we meet again, stay blessed.
It's clear, sharp and bold, covering every team, every season, every story worth being told. The Cory Hogue Sports Show, the Cory Hogue Sports Show. Big stories and real conversations, bring the truth, let it roll.